The following podcast contains spoilers for the monster. You have been warned.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of KFR News Radio. This is your host, Benjamin Button, along with your host, Miguel Amegusto.
Happy spooky season.
Yeah, there's time. The moment's here.
It is time.
Seize
this
it.
is week 2 of our spooktacular, 6-week spooktacular. And yeah,
I'm getting the chills already.
Getting the chills, getting spooky up in here. Yeah, how you been doing?
I've been doing, man, working my butt off and trying to work it back onto having it back onto my butt on my body, you know? Just putting my ass back on.
Yeah, put your ass back on. Clap that shit. Oh my God. Have you seen any movies this week that you would like to discuss?
I haven't seen anything. I've told you privately that I've been doing a lot, so it's been a pain. But I did get to see our movie, or my movie specifically. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I haven't been doing much, bud.
Understandable, yeah. I've only seen 4 movies, not including The Monster, because I had seen that previously, as we have discussed. Mm-hmm. The first one I watched is The Devil All the Time, which you said you watched last week. Mm-hmm. Of course, that has Tom Holland, Bill Skarsgård,
talk about it.
Riley Q, Jason Clarke, Sebastian Stan, Haley Bennett, not Harley Bennett, Eliza, a whole bunch of people. There's a bunch of people in there. Robert Pattinson's also in it. I loved it. I completely understand what you're talking about with the narration. Mm-hmm. The narration kind of takes you out of it a bit. But other than that, I thought it was a phenomenal film.
Yeah, same.
And have very little to nitpick other than the narration.
Yeah. Being
based on a book, I understand why they did it, but I feel like at least 50% of the narration could have been cut out.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. But other than that, everybody was phenomenal. Robert Pattinson being super pervy and handsome, and I'd go to his church. I'd give him livers or whatever the hell was on the table.
What a dick, though.
100%. 120%.
Yeah, if I were anyone in there, I just would have been like, yeah, peace. Mm-hmm. But yeah, then I saw The Broken Hearts Gallery, which is a little rom-com. Yes, I saw it on my birthday, but that was mainly because I wanted to go to a movie theater, not because of the movie itself.
Yeah.
This movie was okay, though. I enjoyed it for the most part. Being a rom-com, it had a lot of funny moments. But in the end, it's your typical rom-com with a grand gesture at the end that no one in their right mind would do and no one in their right mind would like.
Yeah.
And it ultimately was gross but entertaining. Gross because of the romance, not because of the...
Yeah.
I want to be clear about something. Every time I talk about how much I don't like romance, it makes me sound like I'm probably a terrible husband. What I want to clarify is I don't like romance in movies. Romance in real life is fine, but romance in movies... is just cringy and bullshit and all that.
Just kind of super overdone, dramatic.
Absolutely. But yeah, this was fine. It had a lot of funny moments. You believed their compatibility and chemistry, but still has those cheesy, cringy moments.
You know, that main actor, I can't remember his name. He is in Stranger Things.
Dackery or something, whatever.
He's the one person that can rock a mullet and mustache better than his original today look. It's so weird. It freaks me out.
Yeah. He definitely pulls off that 80s vibe real well. And yeah, he's a good looking dude. And I like his voice, if that means anything to anybody.
Oh.
He's got a good voice. But yeah, that's The Broken Hearts Gallery. Then I feel like I've been talking about Nick Cave a lot, and it probably sounds like I'm obsessed with him. But I've just recently got into his music. And I watched a documentary called One More Time with Feeling, which follows him and his band, the Bad Seeds, which includes Warren Ellis, who helps him on a lot of scores, as they are finalizing one of their records, like 2 weeks or something after one of Nick Cave's sons had died. And it's just kind of examining, like, using art to grieve and everything like that, and kind of how it changes perspective and music and everything. That was really interesting. Very sad, but overall pretty interesting. Funnily enough, it's rated PG, but has like a whole bunch of F words in it. Maybe because it is a documentary and they don't really think kids are going to go look for that.
Yeah, understandably.
I don't know why it's rated PG. I have no problem with it. I'm an adult, but
I mean, easily PG-13, but you know, it is what it is.
I mean, other than cursing, there's nothing bad in it, so maybe that's why. But yeah, that's One More Time with Feeling, the film, directed by Andrew Dominic. And then last night I went and saw The Last Shift, starring Richard Jenkins, Shane Paul McGee, and Ed O'Neill. It's about this old man who has been working at a fast food restaurant for 38 years, and he's retiring, and he's training his replacement. And I wrote a review on it that is on our website. You can check that out if you want more information. Okay. But that is The Last Shift.
All right.
Yes. So, yeah, that's all I watched this week. You got any news for us, Mr. Glenjamin?
I do have a little bit of news that I didn't actually see on any, like, news websites or, like, movie-related news websites and stuff like that. M. Night Shyamalan just posted on Twitter yesterday that he got his first shot of his new film, Old.
That's awesome.
Which is kind of baffling that it wasn't really on any, like, news things.
I saw it on one news outlet.
Like,
I don't remember who it was.
Everyone I was looking at was just like fan art, DC.
That's because people.
Marvel. It's so
film websites anymore are just superheroes and franchises. It's really kind of disheartening that they really only cover what the masses want, and I'm not saying that these shouldn't be the number one click getters.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're going to be a website dedicated to film, talk about everything, not just
I think that there should at least be some film, like, articles before you post, like they can both be there, but, like, I feel like it's oversaturated with, like, fan arts and stuff like this. It's just like, all right, cool, where's the actual news in there?
Yeah.
But anyway, luckily I follow M. Night on Twitter and saw that he posted that, and I was like, oh, sick! I love M. Night.
Did you see that poster?
I did. And
that's a killer
it was
poster.
A World War Z movie at first. I was like, what?
It kind of looks like it. Yeah, it's called Old, and the poster is an hourglass where, like, the grains of sand are, like, I'm assuming, they're people, bodies, and it's honestly terrifying looking. And I'm sure it's probably going to be more thriller than horror, but the poster is definitely.
I don't know what the actual movie's about. I think I read that it was based on a book, which most things are.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I understand everyone's grievances with M. Night. He does have, like, his middle films are definitely lackluster. I still think The Village gets a bad rap that it doesn't deserve.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he's kind of still kicking and hasn't gone away, because
I definitely am enjoying his resurgence for sure.
And his I mean, he's the reason I got into filmmaking in the first place. Before I found his work, all I thought was, like, films are only made in Hollywood except for The Blob.
Yeah.
So a mixture of The Blob and M. Night Shyamalan kind of helped me realize that you can make movies in Pennsylvania, and I dig that.
Yeah, it is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I've got today. I did see something else, but we're just going to move on. We're just going to move right on.
So let's move on to The Monster.
Dogs don't got teeth like this.
Ma'am, you all right?
Yeah, we're fine.
The ambulance gonna be a bit. Stay in there.
Oh, there are monsters. They come and go.
A mother and daughter must confront a terrifying monster that... Oh, fuck, dude, I did so good.
Oh, so close.
A mother and daughter must confront a terrifying monster when they break down on a deserted road. Directed by Brian Bertino, written by him as well. Stars Zoe Kazan, Ella Ballantine, Aaron Douglas, and there's like... I might as well read it. There's like 3 more people in here. Aaron Douglas, Mark Hickox, Scott Speedman, Chris Webb was the monster, by the way, and Christine Abadi.
Mm-hmm. And then Miko the wolf.
Oh yeah, Miko, the the actor.
Yeah, the good old actor Miko.
So yeah, we've got the monster. It's spoopy.
Yeah. So I as we discussed before, I watched this. I think I watched this 2 years ago, maybe. Mm-hmm. Shortly after it came out. I can't remember exactly when. But the main reason I watched it is because of A24. The secondary reason I watched it is Zoe Kazan, because I love Zoe Kazan, and I
spoopy.
I felt worse about watching this movie the second time than I did the first time.
So, I guess we could start off on the fact that it was made by A24, which I think we discussed after.
I think it was distributed by A24. I don't think it was made by them.
It didn't have any logos or anything flashing that it was A24, so you might be right. But I think we acknowledged that this was the reason you saw it in the first place after the podcast last week. Yeah,
we did. Just confirmed A24 only distributed it.
Okay.
And it was in 2016, only like 3 years into their lifespan.
Yeah.
Or 4 years, so.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the main reason I watched it, and really I wasn't that impressed.
No, it's definitely, I'll say, I don't want to like bash it too bad.
Yeah.
But there's not really too much to say. It's not a long, crazy plot or anything like that where they land on a planet or anything. It's literally, the plot is a girl and her daughter drive to go drop the daughter off at her dad's well, it's a little more convoluted than that, but they're taking her to her dad's and they hit a air quotes wolf, and the car breaks down, and next thing you know, there's a monster in the woods, and the monster's killing things.
Yeah.
When they show up to help the people.
Yeah. I personally feel like they showed the monster too much. It's in the beginning, you don't see it too much. You see it like just behind the little girl. She doesn't see it. You just see like a shape. But then it just turns into this thing where like they show it too much, and you can tell it's just a person in a suit. Like the legs don't bend a way that it would for an actual creature, scientific or otherwise. It's very obvious that it's a person in a suit, and it's a good suit. I'll give them that.
Yeah, you could see that it was inspired for sure from a xenomorph, along with like a hybrid of maybe like a wolf or something like that.
Yeah.
So like it definitely takes inspiration from that, but I mean it looks good.
Yeah.
But you're right in the fact that they do show it too much, which kind of takes away the fright of it. Mm-hmm. If they didn't even show it at all, like the movie It Comes at Night, correct? Where like they don't even show the monster, like that would have been pretty cool.
With It Comes at Night, I don't even think there is a monster. I think
it's
just a disease.
Longing fear that there's something out there, but you never see anything.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole thing to me, it's only an hour and a half long. To me, it felt a lot longer than that. It's a very slow-paced movie that never really pays off, in my opinion. The acting is fine by Zoe Kazan and Ella Ballantine. I think the script is a little weak from Brian Bertino, but it keeps jumping back and forth between their current relationship and how they got there. But up until really the end, you don't see any reason why Zoe Kazan's character would do what she did for her daughter. She in the end she sacrifices herself for her daughter, but there's no real build up to that. It's just kind of to me it just kind of happened, And I know there's like motherly instincts and everything, but like their relationship is awful throughout the entire thing. And then you see this wonderful flashback at the end where they're having like this kind moment. And I feel like that would have been a much better thing when, there's this point in the film where she's vomiting up blood. She'd just been attacked by the beast. She realizes she's not going to live, and she realizes she needs to sacrifice herself, die faster than she normally would for her daughter. And they show just flashbacks of literally everything we've already seen, but not the flashback that we see later after she's died that shows that they did have a caring relationship at some point, and it just became, strained. So I feel like the editing there is kind of choppy as well. And it was just kind of, I don't want to say it was a mess because it was a pretty clean movie, but it's just...
Yeah, if there was just more substance there.
Yeah.
Like, instead of just, like, what was that? Like, if something more was added to it, like, showing that the mother cared at certain points instead of just having them have a shit relationship the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, there was, like, little moments where, like, she would, like, dry the kid off and stuff like that. Or there's just, like, tiny moments, like, she actually cared. But, like, a lot of it was just them two fighting the whole time and just coming at each other's throats. And you didn't feel any connection there.
And you don't even feel the build-up to those fights either. They just happen.
For a good hour, it's just kind of fighting, and then at the last half hour this kind of little redemption thing happens, but you're at a certain point you're already checked out. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was checked out. Like, a good portion I was like, okay, this is still going. I mean, it's like, no offense to the movie or what's there, but like it needed more than what was there.
I agree.
And I definitely don't think it would have deserved an hour and 30 minutes. A short film would have been cool from this. Maybe even a good 45 minutes or so. But like an hour and a half of the same things we were kind of seeing over and over again. Lots of yelling, and then 4 people died, and then kind of ended.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. It's just, it felt like it was trying to say something deeper than it displayed. I kind of wonder if to them the monster was Zoe Kazan's alcoholism. The character, obviously, not Zoe Kazan herself. And I feel like it thought it was smarter than it is. And that's not to say that there weren't intentions to be smarter than it's portrayed. But the way it's portrayed is completely lost on at least you and I and other people I've talked to about this movie. It doesn't read as something with some deeper meaning. It just comes at you like a basic meat and potatoes, daughter hates mother, mother hates daughter story. And then they're being attacked, and then boom, all of a sudden they both realize they love each other with no rhyme or reason. And then, the mother's dead. Okay, now here's the reason why I love her. It jumps around. It stays in the same place, both thematically, tonally, and literally location-wise and character-wise for so long that by the time it does change, you just don't really care anymore. There's no hint that there's going to be a change. They're both kind of jerks to the guy who's trying to fix their car, who ultimately ends up dead. What did Jesse ever do other than trying to fix your car? They're honking the horn while they think he's under the car. First off,
fuck them for that.
Fuck that, yeah. Like, I don't care how long you've been there. He's trying to help you. Fucking patience. And then poor Jesse gets killed. Jesse is the only person who I wanted to be alive throughout the whole thing. And he wasn't, unfortunately. And you could tell they were bugging him, but he still never like showed that irritation to them. He would just go, oh, Jesus Christ, and then change his tone when talking to them. But yeah, I think this movie could have been a lot better. I like the premise, but ultimately not enough change and transition throughout, and they show the monster way too much.
Yeah.
Those are my biggest takeaways from this. The acting's fine. The writing is severely weak, in my opinion. But Zoe Kazan and Ella Ballantine did what they could with the script they had. Yeah, that's really... I don't really have too much to say other than that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, same. Even if we wanted to, this movie is so short enough, and there's so
little
much
to talk about.
Yeah, there's so little. It's all in one setting, like you said. There's just not much there. So it's tough to even come up with more stuff than what we have already explained. So
yeah. The strange thing to me is the director Brian Bertino, I think it is. Brian Bertino. He directed The Strangers from 2008, that home invasion movie with Liv Tyler.
That explains why that one guy's in there.
Yeah, Scott Speedman's in it. Yeah, and The Strangers is like a stressful thriller to watch, and I just don't understand how he couldn't transition any of that. Maybe this was like his script that the studios wanted him to make before he made his next movie, which is going to be The Dark and the Wicked, which has a higher rating than this. So maybe that's it. I don't know why.
Maybe this is like an early movie he had an idea about and just finally had a chance to make it, but didn't. I don't know. This is like a high school. No, this sounds bad. This is like a high schooler made this movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a high schooler direct, but then like all of the technical departments were actual professionals, I feel like this is what you would get in return. Again, I know Brian Bertino is better than this because he made The Strangers, and his other film, The Dark and the Wicked, looks pretty good. Even just looking at images, it looks better than this. So I know he can do better. I'm not sure exactly what fell through the cracks. Maybe there's a lot of studio involvement that forced him to cut it in a different way. I'd be interested to see if there's a director's cut in this. I don't know if I'd watch it, but it might be better than this, if there is. So, because there's enough there where it interested me, but then not enough interested me to keep me interested for 90 minutes. But yeah, that's really all I got to say.
Same.
All right. So let's jump into the Judgment Glenjamin button. This is your pick for our week 2 of the KFR Spooktacular, and I'm sticking with that name. So what do you think? Does the monster deserve to be on the KFR shelf?
I think we were pretty kind of blunt about how we felt about it. I think it definitely needed more work and definitely could have used it for sure.
Yeah. I agree.
Shelf.
I wholeheartedly agree. If I feel like if you're a bigger fan of horror movies, you might appreciate this more for the monster work and the gore work. If you don't care so much about the story, which is completely fine. People like movies for different reasons. But I wholeheartedly agree this does not make it onto the KFR shelf with the likes of The Apostle, Handmaiden.
I can't not laugh at that.
It's fun. I don't care what anyone says. If this annoys everyone, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it. So that brings us to our plugs for next week. Glenn, what is your plug for next week?
My plug is going to be a guy on YouTube named Ryan George. He actually, I'm pretty sure, works for Screen Rant, and this is kind of like his own channel that he's got, and he just comes up with like these silly satirical scenarios of like the first man to ever come up with a name, like their own name, and like first guy to ever punch somebody or first guy to ever get drunk, and just random like scenarios, and it's just him and like then the other guy is like also played by himself, and they're just funny like little banters back and forth with each other, and like I don't exactly know what I'm feeling right now, and he's just like, I think I drank something and then I'm feeling this. Ew, you felt things? And they're just really funny. Just the way he does it is just hilarious. I personally recommend to you that you watch them. Okay. I actually think you'd get a kick out of them. Most of them are only like max 4 minutes long, so they're funny, they're quick, you get a good chuckle out of it. And there it is, Ryan George on YouTube.
Hi. Hey, that's my hat. This? Yeah, that belongs to me. No, this is my hat. I have it on my head. Yeah, but you took that from me. Yeah, I did. So now I have it. It's mine. But That shouldn't be allowed. What do you mean? I liked it, so I took it and I put it on my head and now it's mine? Oh, no, I don't like this at all. Well, I don't know what to say here. You can't just take other people's stuff. Sure I can. I took this hat. No, I mean, yeah, you can physically take it. Yeah, so there you go. But you shouldn't do that. That's my property. I own it. I know that feels like something you're just imagining though, you know? No, it's not imaginary. Well, yeah, because I took it and nothing stopped me from doing that, so I think all that stuff's in your head, you know? Oh, boy, this is nuts.
Ryan George on YouTube. I feel like I've seen this guy. I haven't watched him enough to like really know what his shtick is, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. So that's Ryan George on YouTube. My pick for this week, my plug for this week, is I believe a few weeks ago, maybe even a few months ago. Time is an illusion. Everything is blurring together.
It's a construct.
I feel like you recommended a video that was the best acting of either like the whole world or, you know, the past 10 years or whatever. I could be wrong. I feel like you did though. I'm going to counter that with the best of bad acting.
Dad! No. Allie! Dad! Don't go in there! Dad! You didn't see anything! Dad!
How could you have done this? Jim! I can't believe you committed suicide. I cannot believe you committed suicide. How could you have done this? How could you have committed suicide? I can't help you out of this one, Jim. With all we've been through, goodbye, my friend. Goodbye.
That is on Chad Munch, the channel Chad Munch on YouTube, the best of bad acting. It contains clips from Samurai Cop, Troll 2, Birdemic. There's some Neil Breen moments in there. If you don't remember, we slightly discussed Neil Breen. Tommy Wiseau's in there. It's just
classically.
It's a 13-minute video of just a whole bunch of bad acting clips. I was watching it before you said you were ready to record this.
Yeah.
And I'm only 3 minutes in, and it's already hilarious. So I highly suggest everyone check out the best of bad acting on Chad Munch on YouTube.
Got it.
So those are our two plugs for this week. This week we're leading into week 3 of the KFR Spooktacular, and that is the first horror Netflix roulette. For those of you who don't remember, we spin the Netflix roulette wheel, which is totally a real physical wheel and not just some internet software that I found. And we spin it 3 times and then pick which of those 3 films we would rather watch. So without any further ado, I will get to spinning. I have selected the genre horror on the wheel, not some internet website.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, that was real dumb. And I am spinning now. Real sounds coming. Bulbul. It's a Bollywood movie, I can tell you that much. It's Bulbbul.
Is that made in 2020?
Oh, yeah. We should spin it again then.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we don't do movies that have not been released for a year. So we're going to spin that again. The Super from 2018. It's got Val Kilmer in it, Patrick John Fluger, Louisa Krause. It is directed by John Rick, written by John J. McLaughlin, and it is about a man who becomes the superintendent of a large New York City apartment building where people mysteriously go missing. That sounds like that French film Delicatessen that we talked about. So
never even heard of this.
Maybe it is a loose.
It is rated R.
Retelling. Yeah, it's rated R. So that is The Super. We're gonna spin the wheel again, and here we go. Veronica. It's a Spanish horror film. Full disclosure, I have seen this, but if this is the one we pick, I am perfectly fine with watching it again.
Okay.
It is written and directed by Paco Plaza. It is also written by Fernando Navarro and story by Coral Cruz. It stars Sandra Escacina, Bruna Gonzalez, Claudia Placer, and Ivan Chaviro. And it is about Madrid, 1991. A teen girl finds herself besieged by an evil supernatural force after she played Ouija with 2 classmates. Yeah, that kind of nails it on the head. So that is our second movie. Movie number 3. Regini MMS2. Ooh. I think it's Bollywood. It is. Or maybe Italian.
Oh, holy shit. I'm glad I clicked on none of those. I just I don't know how they spell, but that's all porn.
Oh, is this porn too? Hold on, let's see how the. I mean, granted, with
how do you spell regime?
It is Ragini.
Okay.
Regini MMS2.
Okay, I found it now. You one letter off, and it's just straight porn.
Okay, it is about a sleazy film director's decision to shoot his latest erotic horror movie in a notorious haunted house angers the vengeful spirit of its past inhabitant. It is directed by Bhushan Patel. It is written by Tavir Bukwala and Isiti Moitra. It stars Sunny Leone, Sahil Prem, Parvin Dabas, and Sandhya Mredlu. So that is Regini MMS2, not whatever Glenn typed.
Which was Regini MMS2. Yeah, this is
it's a doozy.
Quite. You know, I'm leaning super, to be honest.
You're leaning the super?
I haven't seen, when was this, 2017? I haven't seen Kilmer in anything since Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, and this, when did this came out, 2017. Unfortunately, I think he still had his cancer at this point, so his voice might be all fucked up. But yeah, if you... Yeah, we can watch that if you want. I still think that you should watch Veronica at some point. It's actually pretty decent.
I mean, we can pick that. It's fine.
No, it's up to you. We're gonna go with this.
This is a both of us situation.
It is a both of us.
All right, so next week's episode is Veronica.
Necesito que te tranquilices y me describas lo que estás viendo. ¡Está aquí! ¿Sigues ahí? ¿Hola?
En las culturas primitivas se creía que lo que ocurría en el cielo era un reflejo de lo que ocurría en la tierra. Por eso se creía también que durante los eclipses la oscuridad reinaba por encima de la luz.
Cerrar los ojos. ¿Hay alguien aquí con nosotras? ¿Quieres hablar con alguna de nosotras? ¿Lo has movido tú?
So we are going to be watching Veronica, the Spanish film from 2017, directed by Paco Plaza, and that is going to be available on Netflix. Thank you, everyone, for listening. As always, you can check out our website, KeystoneFilmReview.com. On Instagram, Keystone_Film_Review. Twitter, Keystone_Film. Facebook, Keystone Film Review. YouTube, Keystone Film Review. And on Letterboxd, I am Mike, KFR.
And I am Glenn, KFR.
And that will do it until next week when we discuss Veronica, which probably has some kind of Spanish accent on there that I can't do because I'm a stupid American that can't pronounce things.
Veronica.
I can't roll my R's. It's just science. Science. I'm too
Science of the tongue.
Science of my tongue says that I cannot do it. So goodbye, everybody. Hold on, wait. Did we talk about being on KFR or Letterboxd?
I think you went through all the motions there.
On Letterboxd, I am Mike KFR.
No, we did.
Okay, cut that part out, Glenn.
No, I will not, Michael.
Glenn, cut that part out. Goodbye.
Adios.